Hey guys, so as you know, this month we've been focusing on property investment, and I really wanted to touch on something we spoke about last week when I spoke about what to look for when investing in property, and what you need to focus on. And one of those things was risk versus reward, and I just want to chat a little bit more about that. Every single investment, whether it's property related or not, comes with its own risks. Now, if you're someone that is not too fond of risk, and you try and avoid risk, then you've got to be willing to accept that, the investments that you do take on are not necessarily going to yield the best returns. And that's because your return is always directly related to the amount of risk that you are taking. For example, let's look at putting money in a bank account. So you've got a little bit of extra savings, you want to stash it away, you put it in a 60-day notice account, and the bank pays you 4% or 5% interest on your money over a year if you're lucky, but they're guaranteeing your money. Now, that sounds great because you can't lose, but you're not really winning if you are essentially achieving a return that's in line with inflation or sometimes even below inflation. So you've got to understand the risk and rewards. So the less risk you have, the smaller the reward is going to be. Now, if you look at some of the deals that Kuro take on, we obviously take on big projects. We're doing property a little bit differently than most people do. So if you look at Kuro, for example, we offer very high returns, well above average on our projects. So many people would ask, well, are they a lot more riskier than other investments? And I suppose it's how you look at it. In some ways, yes, because with our investments, it does take a while. You're looking sometimes between 6 and 12 months for the deals to materialize. But sometimes you've got to be a little bit patient in waiting for your fruit at the end of the harvest, as they say. I mean, you can easily go and buy a new property and a new development somewhere, and you can try and rent that out and get some passive income on that. But your return is very, very low because you've taken a very low risk. So you've really got to look at where you're adding value, and that's what Kuro really focuses on. We look at adding value to properties. So we take properties that were once loved or not in a very good state, and we turn them around, we add value to them. And because we're extracting a lot of value from the properties and adding value to them at the same time, we can offer very high returns, to our investors. Now, is that risky? Well, yes and no. Kuro is starting to build a track record of deals that we have done where we've essentially taken a lot of risk in many people's eyes, but because our deals are so good and because we do a lot of research and due diligence into our deals, it really mitigates the risk. So that's something that you really need to consider going forward is, yes, you can go for your traditional, less risky investments, but they're not going to bring you much in terms of return. Or you could look at partnering with those that are willing to take on a lot more risk and have taken risk in the past, but have mostly been successful on the other end. And that's where we really come in terms of our property flips, our multi-lets, etc., is that we've been there and done this before. And that gives people a lot more confidence in investing. And that's why we are able to offer the returns that we do, because even though we've mitigated a lot of the risk through our research and due diligence in each and every deal that we do, we still want our investors to benefit in a lot better way than they would had they gone the traditional route. I hope that helps, guys, and I hope that helps you to understand the principles of risk versus reward. And we look forward to welcoming a lot of you as investment partners, if not now, perhaps in the near future. Be sure to check out our website, www.kuro.co.za. All our current investment projects are listed there, and it gives you a chance to invest in some of the projects that we are undertaking. Remember, you can invest from as little as 20,000 Rand, and our returns do average between 15 and 20% per annum on a project by project basis. Guys, all the best and happy investing.